Hi guys, welcome. I'm back with another club dance move tutorial for you. At the end of this video, I'll also show you how you can include this movement when you freestyle. So how you can mix it with other moves, how you can do transitions, just so you know how to use it when you go out. And let's jump into the tutorial. Okay, today we're doing reverse figure eight. If you don't know what regular figure eight is, it's a hip movement, and I did a video on that a while ago, so I'm going to link it for you at the top of the description box, so check it out. And today, a little bit more difficult version of it. We're going to start with the knees bent. It's all going to be hips isolations. We've done a lot of those so far, but you're going to start with the right hip pushing to the back corner. So you're going diagonally to the back, right hip bump. Then, with almost like a half circular motion or quarter circle, you're going to bring it forward, okay? So you go from the back to the right front corner. Not a comfortable movement at all. So this movement, I would say, is, it's a beginner movement. It's not a basic one because you do have to have some hip mobility. Perfect exercise to loosen up the hips as well. This one is, so we're going to work on it. Very important that you keep the knees bent the entire time. Don't let the legs straighten up, because at that time your hips and your pelvis will be locked in place and you will feel very stuck. So now think of it like that. You always start the hip to the back, bring it over to the front. The other hip goes to the back, bring it over to the front. Yes, we're going to smooth it out soon, but for now, just to get the kind of the blueprint of this movement, we'll do it in a very choppy way. It's okay. Right hip to the back corner, and then bring it over to the front a little. Left hip will go right away. Left corner, over to the front. Switch again to the right, we're starting over. Back to the front, left hip, back to the front. Back to the front and back to the front. It's not going to be a huge movement. I'm exaggerating a little bit so you can see my hips, but depending on how flexible your hips are, it may be a very small movement and it's okay. So if it's just this much, that's fine. You don't have to push it all the way out. When I do it and I push the hip out, I feel like stretching going here. Okay, let's try both sides again. A little bit choppy, it's okay. We're going back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. Notice I'm not moving my feet, they kind of stay planted on the floor. Back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. Last one, back, forward. Okay, so this is the general blueprint. You can do it as many times as you need to. You can pause the video, practice, then we'll try to smooth it out. So this is where it gets a little bit more difficult, because even though this motion already is uncomfortable, you have to now do it even slower and in a little bit smoother way, so then everything flows. It's going to be literally a figure eight. It's just the original one, very quickly, it always goes to the back, so you're drawing a figure eight in this backward motion, and then we're just going to reverse it, so that's why it's called reverse. Okay, but slowly, let's see if we can do it all together. Knees are bent, bring the hip to the right, and then our direction is always to the front. Over to the front, bring left hip back, over to the front. So same thing as we did before, but I'm not stopping now. I'm going slowly from side to side, connecting everything. Back, forward, back, forward. When I cannot go further forward anymore, that's when I know to switch sides. So somewhere here is my limit. That's when I bring the opposite hip to the back. Back, forward, back. And notice I'm staying low. Not too low, but the knees are always slightly bent. When your feet are apart, shoulder width apart or hip width apart, this is, I would say, the most comfortable position for the reverse figure eight. If you have this movement without any issues, you can do it. You can see if you can bring the feet together or almost closer, almost touching, and do the same thing. It will feel totally different, you'll see. but it kind of looks good. And I'm thinking if you're wearing a dress or something, you don't want to be, you know. Rhythm is next thing we have to discuss. Good thing about rhythm and this movement is that it's a continuous movement. We're not stopping anywhere, so you don't have to follow the beat. You can, that's optional, but what makes it easier is you can literally go with your own speed to any song. So you can put it onto lyrics, you can put it onto melody, or you can do your own thing. Nobody will really notice because the movement goes non-stop. You can mix rhythms, meaning maybe you start off slow. I do this a lot in my freestyle. I start off slow, then I speed up, then I can go slow again. So you can play around with it. And then arms. What can we do with the arms is, because the movement of the hips is fairly difficult, I wouldn't do much with the arms. I always repeat, don't cover the hips, because then there is no point of doing the hips at all if nobody will see them. So bring the arms slightly up, bend, loose, and they just kind of can sway a little bit. But literally any position of the arms will work. You can have the arms behind the hips, swaying a little bit. You can have them here on your head. You can have them up. You can have them in front. You can move them slowly up and down. Anything that you're feeling, literally any movement that's slow and smooth and continuous with the arms will work with this hip motion. Later on, once you can totally let the hips go and you know you got this movement down, play around with the arms. Not too soon though, because it's just gonna mess you up horribly. Slow, starting with the right hip to the back corner. One, two, 1, 2. Once you have the slow version, you can speed it up, but just a warning, this would be considered intermediate movement at least. If you put it on every beat or if you go twice the speed, it's difficult. So just putting it out there. I would suggest doing the slow version for as long as you possibly can. Let me show you a few examples of how you can freestyle using the movement we learned today. If you like the movements that I'm using in my freestyle, I'm going to post links to those videos in the description box below for you. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. That is it for today. Thank you so much for dealing with me. Please subscribe for more videos. There's a lot more coming on my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.